Many of my clients have spent thousands of dollars on personal training before realizing that this is a system designed to fail, especially when traveling multiple times a month. Within 8 weeks of ditching conventional training methods, my client Jude dropped 12 pounds while being a busy executive traveling multiple times a month to international and domestic areas. Today, I'm going to show you the 3 major mistakes that personal trainers make with traveling professionals, and more importantly, I'm going to give you an implementation plan of what you can actually start doing to see results today. And if you don't know who I am already, my name is Zach. I got my degree in biochemistry. I've had experience maintaining my fitness while traveling through 20 plus countries, and now I've worked with over 100 executives, traveling professionals, consultants, and helped them do the same. Mistake number 1 that personal trainers make is the meal prep myth. And this is the idea of, I'm just gonna give you a prescribed meal plan, eat a bunch of oatmeal, some grilled chicken, some broccoli, some rice, and you should be good to go. The reality is, yes, this works, but it doesn't work for people who are on the road all the time because you don't have access to those things or have the time to meal prep everything out. So what we need to do instead is have a clear game plan on what do I get from airports, what do I do when I'm at restaurants, how do I deal with client dinners, and prepare and plan for those events. Below this video, I'm going to link a restaurant eating out guide, which is what I actually give my clients within the program. So you can actually see what we do, how we structure eating out, and you can start to use those same tactics as well. Mistake number 2 a lot of personal trainers make is they give the advice of like, well, just work harder, just be more disciplined, just have more willpower. And the reality is, with this type of lifestyle, that is not always possible, because the reality is there are a lot of factors that are genuinely out of your control. So what we need to do instead is focus on controlling the controllables, right? You don't get to control when your flight leaves, or suddenly that you're going on a trip with 24 hours notice, or that you're going to be in a different time zone for the next week. Those are things that are directly out of your control and are real challenges and obstacles that will prevent you from being successful. So what we need to do is be able to do the inputs despite those challenges. That leads me to mistake number 3. There's also big emphasis with personal trainers on going into the gym more often, because the more often you go, the more often they get paid, right? And so what we actually focus on is having the minimum effective dose. What does this mean in English? This means that really all you need is 3 solid strength training workouts, 30 to 45 minutes a piece, that you can do throughout the week, any day of the week. With traveling all the time and having a really hectic schedule that will change on a dime or will look different one week to the next, you just need to have the workouts overall, and then you can put them in at whatever time you can squeeze them in. The final piece to this is that we also want to have like different layers of workouts. So we have tier 1 workouts, which is you have a full-on gym, you have access to every piece of equipment, that's awesome. But what if you don't have that? Then we need tier 2 workouts, which is what you can do in a hotel room with just dumbbells and a bench. Then we need tier 3, where if you don't even have access to a hotel gym, you can do some resistance bands in your room. And then finally, tier 4 would be body weight. So you now have 4 different options of what you can do, so that whatever situation you find yourself in, there's something you can do. When we remove all of the excuses and remove the barriers of entry, that's what allows you to actually be consistent long term. The final, and this is the most annoying and worst mistake that I see with a lot of personal training programs out there, is a cookie cutter plan, right? A one size fits all. Here's your prescribed meal plan. Here's a list of the meals you can make. Go crazy, right? Just here it is, do whatever you can, right? It's not effective when your lifestyle is so specific and so borderline chaotic at times, right? So what you really need is you need to customize the approach to yourself, right? What I want you to do watching this video right now is take out your macronutrients, your proteins, your fats, your carbs, and then quite literally go through the different meals, the different restaurants, the different, airports that you're going through, and take all of those meals and fit them into your macronutrient targets. That's exactly what we do in our program, because every single person has access to different things and won't necessarily be able to eat the exact same foods as everybody else. Going off of this as well, based on the amount of travel you're doing, how far you're traveling, the time zone change, your recovery needs are going to look very different. Your stress management and your sleep are all going to be different across the board week to week. And so we need a plan that will actually customize and cater to those needs themselves. You need to be thinking through, how do I get as good of sleep as I can? Another video that I'm coming out with soon is how do we actually optimize sleep protocols, especially when switching time zones, because that can be a huge challenge. And so what we essentially want to do is harness the circadian rhythm, which is the natural rhythm inside of our bodies that tells us when to wake up and when to go to bed. So anyways, like I said, I'll do a full-on in-depth video on that because there's too much information to go over in this one. But I want you guys to be thinking through how do I optimize my sleep? How do I optimize my recovery? And how do I get the right ratio of macronutrients in the different situations I find myself in? Now, like I said, I will have videos going through a bunch of these different topics more in depth, so stay tuned for that. But as promised, I'm gonna give you some very immediate action steps that you can do today. So the number one action step you can do is come up with a plan for your workouts. Again, I recommend 3 workouts per week, 30 to 45 minutes. So I want you to actually write out, like, here are the different exercises I'm gonna do. And if you have any questions on it, you can shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to look over your plan for you. The second action step that I want you to do right now is look at what high protein options you can get from the different airports that you find yourself traveling through. Some examples of this, you can get like Fairlife protein shakes, you can get Greek yogurts, you can get grilled chicken salads if they have that, right? Like, you wanna be stacking up as much protein as you can get throughout the day. Protein is the most satiating macronutrient, meaning it'll keep you full for longer periods of time. So you can eat less calories while being still satiated. I'll put some examples of client transformations up on the screen, but in our program, that is the first thing that we teach, is how do we actually raise our protein intake, because it's gonna keep you full, it's gonna help you build more muscle mass and lose body fat. And within the first month, our clients start to see progress both in their body changing and losing weight. You can see right here, Jude up on the screen, he lost 5 pounds in his first month. On average, our clients lose 5 to 10 pounds. I'll put Chuck up on the screen as well. He also dropped 10 pounds in his first month. So as soon as you start to implement eating a higher protein diet, you're gonna see immediate changes, right? So again, the 2 implementation tactics to do today is write out your workout plan and start eating higher protein foods from the different restaurants that you go to. Like I said, you guys will see in upcoming videos, I'm gonna be breaking down how to do every single piece of this step by step. But if this video was helpful, drop it a like to let me know. Drop in the comments what your biggest takeaway was, or any follow-up questions that you have to any of this. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.